Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name's Adam, and as always, joined by Baker. Evening, mate. How are you doing?
Monday night.
Monday night, no football. No real football, anyway.
No real football. Just get the Leeds fans done early on.
I just know that Andy Martin's going to be listening in the morning. Sorry, Andy. I just know that he will. So I thought the early dig would be there. Get it in there.
Beautiful.
How are you anyway, mate? You good?
I'm all right. You feeling better?
Yeah, mate. It was
a lot of concern.
There was a lot of concern.
For
thanks to everyone for their words, but thankfully, yes, it was a complete, almost false alarm. So I'm fine. Basically, is the moral there, or the result there? I'm absolutely fine. I think it's just a bit of bruising around there, a bit of ibuprofen, and it was all good. I sound like a bit of a hypochondriac now, but it's all good. It's all better to be checked anyway. So better to be safe than sorry, and all that stuff. For sure.
How's your week?
Rubbish. Like I genuinely thought it was going to be okay, and then I just got slapped by literally 4 out of the 5 people that could hurt me. Raya hurt me, Bumo hurt me, Gakpo hurt me, and one other. It was only Chris Wood that didn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I think I've had an okay week. And I'm like,
we got away with Rodgers in the end, which would that would have painted. It was but 40% owned Rodgers.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was now. That's frustrating. I hate not knowing. But yeah, so really pretty rubbish. And I realised, you know, when we said, oh, what have we got to set up? I realised I don't actually have our teams. That's amazing.
I was just looking because you said it. You got 58 points.
I did. I had a last minute Poro adjustment, which was kind of nice.
I got 64 points, which feels like I mean, for those that tuned in on Thursday, I'm sure they're waiting to hear whether I did Cliver or Sobersley in. Which one did I go for?
I'm so gutted for you, because I was so happy that you were going what I felt was like outside the box thinking.
So to explain the workings of it, so Sobersley, after we potted, I slid into let's just throw the fan under the thing because he's a good one. I slid into Josh Williams' chat. Incredible, Josh. You know, is probably I really trust him in terms of Liverpool stuff, like stuff he does, and for rap, all that. Like he's great. Yep. He's great. I think he's going to do the wire next week, because I slid in. I was like, if you're not doing the wire, then you come see us. But people know him. He often does stuff with Late Riser. He's excellent, and he plays FPL. And I was like, what do you think about Sobersley? And he was like, I just don't think he's going to do the returns. Like he'll be in around, but it just often doesn't do it, you know. Yeah. And it's quite hard to predict when he will, because he shoots early all the time. And there's all the same stuff that I was thinking when I was watching all his highlights. Was
all the stuff that you were picking him out for?
Yeah,
all the good stuff.
Shoots early, all this stuff, does all this stuff, but you can see it is a little unpredictable because he's always trying to bang. And he was like, just Gakpo's a lot safer in that sense. And I was like, I think you're right. I think if Gakpo scores this weekend, I'm going to want Gakpo so much that I'll feel like I've regretted it. So I was like, I'll make my bed and make the decision that I want Gakpo.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a double hurt then, because I don't get the Sobersley points, but I couldn't also get Gakpo in because I had to free the money up. So I then have to watch Gakpo get points against me.
Yeah.
I then got spooked about Cliver because in the Friday presser, they said that the Tavernier's back. And I was like, oh, minutes again, 60 odd minutes. Let's not do it. Let's wait. So I thought, Tottenham can't let me down. Okay, goodness.
I didn't know quite what to do. I mean, I was so confused Saturday morning when you started mentioning Kulu. I was like, what do I say? Because I really wanted to say, are you fucking insane? Like, are you stupid or something like? Because
he was everything for us,
but we didn't do anything.
Like, he missed a one-on-one, and Mikey Moore managed to get himself offside for what should have been. I
know, but it was Liverpool at home to Ipswich. It was mad.
Tottenham was at home to Leicester. I've basically gambled on the double, but I needed to free the money up. Yeah. So the idea was the frustrating part for me, obviously, is I knew I was losing Fulham for a great game, But when we did the Thursday night, I was like, well, I can't play Mikalenko. I can't go in with Mikalenko when everyone's going in with Trent. Mikalenko got 6 points and Trent got 5.
Yeah.
Standard. FPL, baby. And obviously Foden scores in the last minute. It's
typical.
It's stupid. It's stupid.
Harry's saying he tried to tell you, but
yeah, the problem is, you see, I would if I'd have done Cliver, I'd got above Harry, and then Harry would have sulked, and then he'd have emailed people and done all that stuff. Like, can't do that, can you?
No, there's no need.
But what a lovely guy! Like, if I got Cliver, he'd have helped me go above him.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing that what just a few words from yourself can do, because
have I stalled enough for you to get the
mate,
stuff up?
as if by magic, mate. It's there.
Tried.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. You knew if you could keep it going long enough. We'll say hello to everyone in the chat just in a minute, but we will run through the game as I mentioned. So 58 points for myself. I had A. Becker.
A. Becker.
A. Becker 2 points. Trent 5 points.
Unbelievable.
Like, that killed my weekend. Like, literally that Greaves goal killed, and it was Greaves as well. It was just like, ugh. And then me putting the pod together and looking at that XG plot, like, I almost threw my mouse out the window. I was raging.
Vomiting.
But yeah, Trent 5, Gabriel 7, Hall 2, Porro 6, which is nice.
Yes.
Was immediately couldn't see who actually crossed the ball in when the ball went in. And I was just honestly, I cared more about whether Porro had crossed it in than Richarlison actually scoring. But it is what it is.
That's the world we're in.
Salah cap, fine, whatever. Eze, Palmer, 2 points each. Mateta 2 points. I mean, like, Eze and Palmer could have. Eze and Mateta in the first 10 minutes, they could have just both returned. One to the other. Isak 13, cool. I mean, he's good. He's really good. And then João Pedro 1. I mean, as it happened, it didn't really matter on the João Pedro versus Rodgers one. I'm glad I played Pedro Porro. But yeah, I was really uncomfortable with the João Pedro pick like this week. I just really was. Didn't really like it.
Yeah.
As weird as much as I hate Everton defense, I just didn't feel comfortable with it. But yeah, and then 2 points each from Iwobi and Castagna. Johnston still whatever. So yeah, 58 points down very, very slightly. I don't know, like 30k, 20k maybe. It might even be like a grey arrow basically. But yeah, that's where I am. That's what we do. I'm a constant yo-yo around 1.1 million. It's so boring.
My difference is that Arsenal kept the clean. That's it, really, isn't it? Raya versus Alisson. But other than that, obviously Robinson loses the clean late on to the deflecting. I was fuming. I was absolutely fuming when that Lisandro Martinez goal went in. Mainly because I was on full BPS count at the point of where it went in. There were 6 players between 26 and 27 on BPS. It was tight.
It was close.
I was like, this is... Because if anyone watched that game, they'd have got no joy out of watching the Fulham versus Man United. I got joy because I was just bonus, refresh. That game was so bad that I had the game minimised on my iPad and the FPL screen maximised refreshing bonus. That's how bad that game was. And then that went, and I was like, I can't believe it. But yeah, nothing. A huge amount to speak of. Gordon gets an assist.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. So, but I'll take sneaking away with when you feel like you've had a bad week and you still snuck a green arrow. If it's small, you like. Thanks very much.
Yep. Hello to everyone in the chat now. Then. Hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining us here on a Monday evening where there's no football going on. I don't know. I pissed off Steve as well but that was inevitable, mate, to be honest. So sorry about that as always. Yeah, I guess we can move on to leagues. I guess while we're doing that, just a plea more than anything. No, it's not really a plea, but as always, if you do like the content that we do, make sure you like the video, and that would be great. Hit subscribe if you want to see more from us, and if you're listening back on podcasts, etc., rate, review, all that good stuff.
while you're doing your admin stuff, if people go and retweet the live stream klaxon thing right now, do they still get potentially in for getting a mug
Absolutely,
tonight?
up until we do the giveaway, which will be after all the games anyway. So, you've got
So
like an hour at least.
everybody's watching this. But we'd like you to do it now because you can then push people our way. We won't keep telling people to retweet it, so you've got the inside scoop if you're in now. But if you can go and retweet Adam's tweet, then
Yeah.
send people
And
our
if you're
way.
on Blue Sky, not X, then there is a post on Blue Sky, but you've got to
yeah.
go and find it rather than have it pinned in the top of the chat.
I think I'm done with it.
Oh yeah. I will keep.
I know the greater good says that I probably should, but very lazy.
As soon as you had Donald Trump throwing dart flights out to the music,
Exactly. You're not going to get that level of fun on Blue Sky.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
No.
So league update quickly. Onto the public league. So Alex Herculen is still winning that one, 1,659 points. Steve Bunn in second, 1,651. Chris Costa third, 1,635. Bjark Fredslund, 1,626. And Lyle Mosley in 1,616. I was going to say up, but they haven't moved. None of them have moved. So
wow, top five.
Got to chase them. Got to chase them down. And then, as I say, as always, the rest of the top 10 there on the screen for your viewing pleasure. And in the Patreon Discord, so Nigel Mendonca still top 1,611, so he's just outside the top 10 in the public league. Yogesh 1,605, Craig Buckingham 1,566, big gap down to Craig, but he's in third. David Thorne in fourth, 1,566. Minte Fresh, I love that team name. And Richard Mellor down into fifth, 1,562. Again, rest of the top 10, you're all on screen. If you want to come and join over on. Oh, go on.
Just looking at the public league, so Ninja in there, I think he's like 260th in the world. Because he tweeted me about it the other day, about 260 in the world. And he's seventh in our public lead.
I'm actually on the
253
on my phone. So yeah, Alex is 14th.
We're actually at a position that you don't get read out in the public league unless you're in the top 250 in the world.
There you go. That's how good. Why are we not on the front page of the FPL website yet? Keep improving, guys. We'll get there. Keep improving. We'll get there. And we've
boys here.
We've Chintan's here. Love you, Chintan.
Chintan's here.
Guys, love you. Had a good game with 84 and 5 free transfers. Okay, don't like you anymore.
Absolutely.
No, that's class, man. That's class. Adjusting nicely with 300k rank, trying to improve my 50k best rank. Good night, babies. Okay. Yeah, Chintan, amazing. 5 free transfers. Wow.
I mean, let's talk Andy gets KSI. Chintan's our KSI.
Yeah,
exactly.
We get it in rupees rather than pounds, but it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I got no idea what that is.
I don't know. £5?
But
maybe?
We like it.
I don't know.
We like it.
We absolutely love it. And we cannot go anywhere without shouting out Crypto Block Dan, who has joined us in the chat as well. I see Bjarka, who's in fourth in the public league, is in chat, so he's representing there. So shout out to him. And
mate, so if I was top 250 in the world, I'd be in every live stream every week. Hi.
Yeah, exactly. He also says, "Can you win a mug if you live outside the UK?" Yes, if you just retweet the tweet. That's it.
Absolutely.
We deliver worldwide. We've got mugs going. I've got 2 mugs going out to Canada at the moment. I've got 1 out to Hong Kong. I've had a couple out to Australia in the past, mate. We send them everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. The only place I haven't sent one, I don't think, 2 places maybe, South Africa and Brazil.
And we've never charged for it. We've never charged.
Never charged. No, none of
never
that.
done. We give away.
But if you wanted to join the Patreon, patreon.com/aboveaveragefpl, you can come and join us there. We've got lots of games going on. Blackjack has just started again. Absolute cull, although 3 people managed to get 21 with their choice of players, which is mental. One guy got 40. He picked
just too good.
Picked
just
Dango,
this game.
Cliver,
yes,
and Howson as a 3. So his 3 players got 40 points.
Imagine you tripled up in Bournemouth this week, got 40 points.
God.
Boom.
Yeah, Last Man Standing is starting again this week.
Maybe we all will in the next few weeks.
Maybe. Last Man Standing is starting up this week. We've got the So Rare Challenge as well, which is well underway. And, we've got other games in there as well. Stuff going on. Beat Baker. Oh, hold on, wrong way. Beat Baker. January beat Baker is done.
Yeah, done.
It's done. So, quick spin for the guys.
February short as well. Like there is no better time than if you are doing AssMan, because there's 4 game weeks.
And Luke Curtis has won himself some whiskey, some bourbon.
Luke Curtis has won himself some whiskey.
So shout out as always again to Never Say Die Bourbon for supporting us for this. And now January Beat Baker will become February Beat Baker. There we go. Luke, nice. we will talk to you. We'll talk to you in Discord. Get all your details, and we'll send that over to you ASAP.
Always impressive when someone types February on the fly when people are watching and get it right.
Mate, it's easy.
But people muck about, don't they? They always do. You watch people do it, and they drop that first R, and they get themselves all tangled.
You know exactly why. You know exactly why I don't make that mistake.
Why don't you make that mistake?
Because I'm born in February.
Get that birthday out there. Get that birthday out.
We're there. We're almost there. We're almost there. As my daughter keeps reminding me, "You're 40 next year, Daddy." Oh, thanks. Thanks very much. So yeah, a couple of years to go for that one. Well, no, one and a bit.
One.
Where do we want to start? Where do you want to start, mate?
Liverpool. Feels rude not to.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like this was a paddling, but I think it was kind of expected. But for them to literally put up like 0.05 XG up until the 85th minute, that clean was locked, man. That clean was locked. Trent got the assist, and it was like, oh, that's perfect. It's all just kind of fallen into place. And yeah, I mean, no, Liverpool are good. I don't know what else you want to say here, because
yeah,
it was fully expected.
I guess it's still a case of they're so good that what do you do this week if you got Diaz?
I think you move him. I think you pivot somewhere.
Well, you have to ask yourself, if you were a betting man on Diaz with a double versus Bumo this week, what would you?
We're going to get this question a lot, aren't we?
Like if someone said to me, Diaz and Wood, or Gakpo and Bumo -4, I'll take the -4, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yes.
So I do think I would.
I'd do it forward. I wouldn't do it backwards. I wouldn't do it for like an Alisson type thing. I wouldn't go keepers to make that happen. But I would definitely do it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to see, obviously, Diaz played good minutes in this. He played good minutes. Came off like 85th minute, something like that. Yeah. But ultimately, we talked about it all season. The middleman is a bit of a passenger.
Yeah.
And actually, Szoboszlai is making him more of a passenger.
Well, yeah. I mean, what we saw quite a lot here was that Diaz would drift from... We saw it last week, where Diaz would drift from the central position out to the left and Szoboszlai would fill in. What we saw this week is we saw him drift to the left and Szoboszlai filled in, but then he went even further left and Gakpo went inside him.
Yeah.
And then we saw that a number of times.
I did get done, by the way, on this as well. Part of my not going Szoboszlai was that, there was a leak going around, which seems like a lot of people. I see Tony get into some beef around that Darwin was starting instead of Diaz. And my view was Darwin won't get pushed out of being centre forward like Diaz does. But we saw it, Diaz just gets pushed out of being centre midfield because Gakpo wants to be a striker.
Yeah. How many shots did Diaz have?
I don't actually know that question.
I mean, I'm looking at them now, so... None.
That is interesting.
Gakpo had 3, Szoboszlai had 4, Salah had 3, Trent had 2.
What I thought was for that first goal, he was inside him as well, wasn't he? He was further right Gakpo than Diaz on that.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. He's actually pushing wider, and Gakpo's coming in to become that back post threat. Yeah. I mean, he's taller than him. He's a bigger presence than him, and he's coming in. He's probably coming in from a position where he's going to be less. He's less likely to be marked because he's not around that area of the pitch for most of the build-up and stuff. So he's kind of coming in and sort of ghosting into that space where, I mean, he's massive as well. He's so big.
Do you think now, because obviously what we've seen, Trent, it's beautiful cross for the second one. And Kanate, we just know, well, we know enough to know he's fit. I saw at dinner he was trying to tweet it like he wasn't fit to play 3 weeks, but actually was Slot saying is he is now fit to play 3 times a week. But I noticed it in the game before that he sort of steps out in that sort of like right-ish half space type thing, which is meaning that Trent's actually putting more crosses in from out wide. It's not like Trent's not quite as central actually. Like when Trent comes central, he comes completely central. He just abandons his wing completely. But actually, what Konate allows him to do is he not only does he cover the centre back position obviously for him and the right back position for him, but he actually covers that sort of like right centre mid position that looks almost like Henderson used to play quite often, and he can play. Like he can act like Kanate can actually play to an extent that I'd be like, I don't know why you'd spend the money extra on Van Dijk over Kanate.
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
I agree with that. I agree with that, and yeah, I think there's a piece of me that thinks that we saw that part of Trent primarily because he doesn't need to come in and boss the midfield in this kind of scenario when you're at home to one of the sides in the bottom three. I think it may be like game specific, but
yeah,
definitely was. I mean, it's not. It's a couple of weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks now. He's definitely been slinging him in, and he is just
slinging him in, and also feeling free to come completely in and go. I'm just going to go into the 10 role and do what I want. I mean, the banger that hit the bar as well, like that would have been sweet.
It's nice that you can say that now that you own him.
Yes, yeah, it would have been. The attacking returns would be, but I don't know because I was out and about on Saturday, so I don't actually know whether I wanted it to be a clean or not with just owning Trent in the defence.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't
think you do. I think there's enough owners of Konate now and Van Dijk and Alisson that you don't actually want the clean if you've only got one of them.
It would have said on Live FPL. Live FPL has that data, like the defensive EO data.
Yeah, but you definitely won't want it by next week because what you're also going to do is you're going to give away cleans to the AssMan.
Yeah.
Because Slot's going to take points off you for cleans.
Top 10, yeah. God. Top 10k defensive EO was 94.76.
There you go.
So you
add in whatever happens this week, plus the people that get the cleans that have got the Slot AssMan.
Oh God.
And that's going to be like 130 probably as a defense.
Oh, God. That's so weird. That's gonna mess with my mind. How randomly somebody's gonna have a 12th person in their team. It's like just appear out of nowhere.
It's tough.
50 from 6 to play, sort of.
I think that's going to be the same for us all rest of the season, though, don't you?
It's going to happen. Yeah, I guess it is.
What was really interesting. So yeah, I was out on Saturday with another dad. We went to the zoo, all that fun stuff. He plays FPL and doing really well in his own little work league. But his first thing he said to me was, "Who's your manager next week?"
Oh right.
And I was like, "It's what he said to me. Who's your manager next week?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not playing. Do you not have to play it next week?" He said, "Everyone's playing it." A lot of this thing of saying, "Oh, it's available next week." Well, everyone's just going to everyone's just seen it and gone, "Well, I'm playing it."
I mean, Alex, who's top of our league, he'll probably play it. It's available.
Literally everyone in his little mini league chat, they're all playing it next week.
Wow.
Because it's like we can.
Yeah, it makes sense.
We have it, so we can. It's so.
Oh God, so I'm like guaranteed red arrow next week.
It's gonna be really tough. This is where I think actually Sertap's FPL optimized site is going to be really, really useful. Things like that because you'll be able to see kind of what your expected was versus it, so you'll know if actually you're already gonna, almost at the start of the week, is this just really uphill? Like, do I actually have a chance this week?
Can I just say, I'm having to review a bunch of messages in the chat because everyone's saying AssMan, and YouTube is like, no, I can't have the word ass. It just can't. We can't put it. I've got to review all these.
It's amazing.
Anyone that's put the word ass. I mean, now I'm going to get a ton of them, aren't I? Jeez.
Ton of them.
Sorry, carry on.
It's amazing.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think I would eliminate Van Dijk and Diaz from my selections of players that I've got if I haven't got it. I think it's now a case of, and if you've got Fabianski, I think people that have got Fabianski aren't going to go Alisson as much now because it causes another keeper problem potentially if you don't free hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Konate's an easy pick. I think Gakpo's an easy pick. I don't think you can go without Trent and Alisson. Trent and Salah, obviously.
Yeah.
And if you've got Salah, we've had a couple of games now where it's not, huge returns. It's always that way, in it. Like
Yeah,
a
but
couple of them.
there's again, this is not a week where you mess around with that. There's going to be AssMans, there's going to be triple captains, there's going to be all sorts of stuff. Just stick it on him, move on.
But is it slam dunk triple captain over AssMan if you've got both?
I don't know whether there's going to be a better double for Liverpool. Do you trust any other players that you think are likely to get a double elsewhere? Because if you're looking at, what are we looking at? Do you think you'd ever triple cap Isak? Like, what would Isak's fixtures be in 33?
Yeah, you just don't know.
And then after that, you're predicting the FA Cup, which I think is, there are projections and stuff, but let's just leave the FA Cup for now.
It's a double with a great break between it.
Yeah. That's the thing. There's so much rest. It's not like it's a rotation thing.
There's always an issue that when there's a great break and there's a couple of games between it, that you might end up with an injury, whether it be in training, whether it be something like that. If there's someone you can be as trusting as you could be in this situation, it is still Mo.
Yeah.
Still Mo. I think there's people that might look at it for, say, for example, Gakpo, for example, is he one over? It's just that break actually is bad maybe for some, but he's got to be the most reliable for it. So feels easy enough for me in that situation. Don't know what else to take from it other than just fantastic.
Yeah.
Is it... Do you think it's important? So let's use someone here who's only got 2 assets in Liverpool. Do you think getting a third is more important than playing AssMan, or do you think you'd AssMan and maybe look elsewhere?
It's so difficult to value it though, because you're talking about again a fixtures down the line, aren't you? Whereas I think I would feel more. But you can do both, right?
Can't have 3 and slot.
Oh no, you can't have 3 and slot. That's true. Yeah. Oh my god, I hate this chip, man.
I just think the 5 that I've just mentioned there, and even Van Dijk, if you didn't know him, but I just think Gakpo, Salah, Trent, Konate, Alisson are so strong, such good assets, and have different things. Is so Alisson, I would say, is like the least explosive for the double. But you'll get Wolves at home straight after.
Yeah, so you got no table bonus, right? So you got to ask yourself: do you think over the next 3 games, do you think Gakpo can score 18 points or more? Right. So I guess it's going to be more
Wolves, like you feel he probably could.
Yeah, this is it. I don't know. Actually, maybe it's pretty close. I reckon because it's not 18 points, right? Because they're going to win like 2-0, 3-0, 2-1, all this sort of stuff. So it's probably going to be more like 24 points. He could rack that up in the double, and then he's got Wolves.
Yeah. Let's talk about the teams that they've got to play. Let's do that then first. So let's go Bournemouth first.
Well, Bournemouth are fun. They're
super fun.
Yeah. Like Dango takes everything here, but Kluivert again, he's basically like OOP now. Like, did you look at the pass map when they've got this? Like, their pass map is mental, and he's basically playing alongside him, but he's not your typical number 9 baseline wise. He's so creative and he's really, really efficient. Like 0 shots off target.
It's like,
and he's shooting from 25 yards, right?
It's like Trey Quartista, if we want to go that kind of old school time talent way. That Raquelme type, Totti type. Those guys. He's a little magician, and he can bang and he can do stuff.
The note that I wrote was, "Holy shit!" Put that finish on repeat because it was a carbon copy of his hat trick.
Yeah,
goal of the week. It was mad,
like a knuckleball. Like it's gone in it. Like it's yeah. I felt pretty stupid not getting Kluivert. I'll be honest. Especially, when obviously he gets 1 goal as well where it's disallowed. Like we've got that to go in here that's not in here.
Yeah.
I think I played it through in my brain. And in my head, I tried to convince myself that Tavernier is an issue because Tavernier very much was the 10. But he does loads of damage, Cliver, coming off the left, right? They've also got just a ridiculous movement. Is some I suddenly started remembering, well, Semenyo can play right. Brooksy can go back on the bench.
Yeah.
And they'll play Semenyo right, Tavernier 10, Cliver left, Dango up top. They can all move. They can all switch position. They can literally all play 9, all play wing. Dango's probably the only one that can't play 10, but he can play 3 other positions
Yeah.
in that. The movement's so good, actually. In a way, this no Evan Nilsson and no Unal to be just a lump has actually made him just
Well, I mean, like
impossible to
you
track.
talk about Unal being a lump. Did you know that? Did you know that against wingers in the last year, like Utara is like literally the best header of the ball. He wins all his aerial duels. He just wins everything.
It's a monster.
He's absolutely massive, and I guess that probably leans into why he doesn't play 10 so well as well. But
yeah, he's just like inside forward. He's been playing. He plays inside forward when he plays forward, doesn't he? He doesn't play wing as such. Like he wants to score. Yeah. So this suits. I mean, what do you think then at the moment? If you're buying, is Cliver worth the money over Dango?
What's the difference? Because I haven't even looked at Dango, to be honest.
$500,000, like 5.1 or whatever he is.
Probably
He's
for
nothing.
pens. Probably for pens.
But does minutes outweigh pens? I guess that's my feeling on them.
But as you say, they can rotate them all around. Semenyo can play up top. So whilst like this time Dango gets all the minutes, we need to maybe have a look at a couple more games to see. And I think we're going to get that right with the fixtures. We're going to get a couple of weeks.
Maybe you can get both.
Well, actually, no, we've only really got this week, haven't we? Actually, we've only really got this week, and it's like, do you want them for Southampton?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. That's maybe you can. I mean, because
there's no time. There's no time to work it out. Really,
Rogers has got Ipswich. Oh, would you? I mean, but you'd go Dango over Rogers, wouldn't you?
I'm so jealous of these people with like 4 transfers and stuff. But I've seen everyone just using them this week, and I'm like, I'd keep them back for these guys. They're worth it.
Yeah. Are you? What are your thoughts on? So what have you made any moves yet this week?
Yes.
So you've moved Wood to Gakpo. Do you have any more? You got one more transfer though as well, don't you?
Nothing.
Okay.
I am done. And my midfield is pretty crappy. Like I'm playing Rogers and Kulusevski at the moment.
Rogers is fine.
Pedro. Rogers at Wolves.
Yeah.
Kulusevski at Brentford.
I'm just wondering how quickly you can get off Kulusevski.
Yeah, I've got part of the chance on that is you're chancing for the double, which is very unlikely. But if you get it, you get lucky.
True. Yeah. No. True. Fair enough. I guess if we don't get the double for Spurs, then you just shift out to a Bournemouth mid.
Just shift out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this was mad. You mentioned that goal. You mentioned that goal that was disallowed. That was like some of the best football I've seen in ages.
They're
like
just
we've said this about them the last 2 or 3 weeks, but the intricacy. And
we should also address that any 5-goal win when you only have 1.8 xg is an outlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
An outlier. Like it's still 5 against 1.8 that's crazy. Yeah. Almost 6, you know. But they were clinical. They smashed them up.
Yeah. I think we need to.
The game's actually.
You mentioned 5-0, right? You mentioned it's 5-0. 5-0. Like even at 3-0 is when like all the moves all the substitutions started to make to happen.
Yeah.
So I think is there a bit of reading into the fact that Utara stays on the pitch because he's on a hat trick, and Kluivert gets a rest Brooks gets a rest because he's 3-0 up, and then they start manoeuvring things around. So
I just think.
I mean, you want them in these fixtures, though.
They're all good.
Yeah, they're good.
I just think they're all good. People are going to get real twitchy on Forest, obviously.
Yeah.
You get twitchy on a defence when it concedes 5 goals. Definitely. There's a lot of people behind us, Sales and all that stuff. They're going to get twitchy. Would you go Sales to Pickford?
Probably not.
Everton it
Maybe.
is.
Maybe. Probably. Probably. I mean, look. I mean, defensively they're pretty sound here. They do all right. There's a lot of chances, but a lot of very small chances that they conceded. But I'd just like to highlight like 0.08 non-penalty XG Everton created. It's
For anyone that doesn't realise, is nobody in this world hates Everton more than Adam.
I still put it down to the fact that I had to go to Goodison Park on the 30th of January 2008 or whenever it was, and drove for 4.5 hours to watch us draw 0-0 up there, and I just still hate it.
Yeah,
that's poisoned my mind. Plus, it winds up Steve. So,
well, I like, but regardless of whether it was Everton or not, your stance will always be in doubles that
don't pick bad players from bad teams.
That's and I'm cool with that stance. Like I think there's a good enough reason to suggest that. I don't like picking the defense, if I'm honest. I really don't. I've got Mikalenko. I've held him sitting around. I'll play him. Am I excited about him? I'm not excited about playing Mikalenko. I'm like, oh, okay. Better roll you out, mate. Because like Mikalenko with a double versus Anthony Robertson at Newcastle, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's still. I mean,
I think Bournemouth and Brentford with the fixtures that are coming up, and then the game week 29, which is still really uncertain. I think keeping transfers for those games, which are good teams with good fixtures, feels to me more important than this.
Yeah.
What I do think is, we just talked about me with Kulusevski. Kulusevski's a bad pick. So it's easy to move off him, innit? It's easy to move off him. Similar, if you've got Raul Jimenez, the fixtures aren't great now. The fixtures are bad. Do I think if I had Raul Jimenez, I'd go to Ndiaye? Yeah, I would. Would I go to Ndiaye if I could go to Wissa and it didn't really cost me anything in terms of having to give up any of the other transfers instead? Yeah, I'd do that instead. I still think I would go Wissa over Ndiaye, wouldn't you? If your money allows it and it's all nice and easy.
You're asking the wrong person, mate. You're literally asking the wrong person.
I would.
And Ndiaye had one shot on goal in the game. I mean, they only had 3
It's
shots.
all season. It's like that. All season, that's him. All season, he has one shot on goal. He's actually returned pretty well considering the lack of penalty. His only touch in the penalty box all game was the penalty.
Yeah.
And we don't know if he went off with an injury or not, or were at the end where he didn't have any stuff, but he definitely was limping. Looked more like cramp, tiredness, whatever there was then, than an injury. But even then, he's just still telling you if it's cramp, then it does get them. It's, I don't know. For me, I would keep my transfers back and use them on Brentford and or at least have the option to use them on Brentford guys or use them on Bournemouth guys.
Well, that's a good almost a double pivot there, because you pivot into the fact that Everton have got Leicester, and you're talking about Brentford players that have got Tottenham.
But João Pedro is something we probably just need to just mention here, because you have told me ad nauseum about Brighton's attack is not functioning here. They had 16 shots, 69% possession for 0.75 XG.
It's weak. It's really weak.
Like, are they?
The problem is they had a couple of games a few weeks ago where kind of kicked back in and Pedro scored. So there was kind of a little kickback, and it was like, oh, okay, and he's still on pens, so that's good. But is it really?
Are they easy to defend against? Are they just easy to defend against? Like, is it easy if you sit in that they struggle?
Maybe. I mean, I could see. I mean, I'd accept people moving on. I mean, I could accept people moving on from João Pedro to Ndai, to be honest, just for these couple of weeks. And I did.
Well,
I did. I
that
don't
is part
feel
of the question
great
to
about
think to
it.
yourselves is this time? And obviously they got 1.9 against Man United, so Man United helped them out to get a bit more. But they got 1 at home to Ipswich. They got 1.5
Yeah.
at Arsenal. They got 1.1. They're getting like around 1.5 XG all the time. Not really ever getting like 0.5s, but also not the twos are never happening.
Which was a staple in the past. Like,
And they have multiple people that can score goals.
yeah.
It's not like they don't have a load of players. It's not like you look at it and you go, well, it's okay if you've got low XG because you can go, I know exactly where that goal's going to go.
No, because it can be Welbeck, it could be Mitoma, it could be Minter, it could be like
Whoever they bring off the bench, whichever one it is, Belieber scores the odd goal. Like it could be a lot of them.
Big guys at the back.
Big guys at the back. Pedro de Wissa is going to be very, very popular. Very popular.
So Everton have got, as I say, Everton have got Leicester. Wissa has Spurs. So let's talk this. I refuse to put the picture of him touching the badge, so that's the one we get of him. How much do you dislike Tottenham right now?
Well, I'm angry.
This is true.
And I'm sad. Like I'm really angry. I'm really sad. Is watching this. It was like, yeah, we're just stupid. Like we're stupid. Is game's completely in control. No issues. Going at 1-0. Should be more. Not really a problem. You think to yourself, okay, we're in a good space. We'll come out. Oh dear.
I never felt. I never felt like anything. It is. I mean, it is those. It is literally those 10 minutes. Like, there's nothing outside of those 10 minutes for Leicester. But
10 minutes all you need against
10 minutes is all you need. And
so it's unheard of. I don't think it's ever happened in the Premier League that I know of. I can't think of a team ever that's been 15th with a +9 goal difference. I don't think it's happened ever in any stage of a season, in any league, any year of anything. Anyway, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's not happened in any league.
Yeah, anywhere.
Yeah. You find me someone 15th with a +9 goal difference. It doesn't make sense. But it's because what teams know is just smash them up for 10 minutes. Their heads will go down and then just sit in. Just sit in. Don't do anything else. They've done the stupidness. They might do the stupidness again if you sit around long enough. And if you sit in, they haven't got 1v1 specialists. So what do you do about it? Like we've talked about many times, Tottenham and Brighton are relatively similar in the style in which they attack. And we're seeing it for both teams here, where if teams sit in, Tottenham can't get to 2 XG. At home to Leicester, they can't get to 2 XG. That's like incredibly damning.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help you have to take off the striker at 55 minutes through injury. It doesn't help that players that are playing are actually injured.
The moronic piece from Ange. If you know your striker's injured, right, at half time, which he did know, he's outright said he knows.
Yep.
If you know that Sarr can't play, they can't play. These two guys can't play. He said to it after the game, you shouldn't play in those things. You get free substitution windows during a game.
Yeah.
But you get 4 if you use half time.
Yeah. Yes.
So if you're in if we had a David Moyes, if we had a pragmatic guy, like if you've got someone coming in, yeah, if I'm trying to be pragmatic right now, what I would be like is this is the team that is going out for a half. And I would say to Simon Richarlison, you've just got to play a half. Just do me a half. Do me the first half, get me in with the win, and you're out of there. because then I've got 15 minutes with those people that I'm bringing on, especially because they're kids. Chucking a kid on 55 minutes is throwing him to the Lions Den, 2-1 down. It's throwing him to the Lions Den. Chucking him in at 1-0 at half time when it's there and you can set your team and you can work it and you can strategically get yourself through the second half as to where you're going to be. There's a plan.
Yeah.
And you're setting out a plan to win a game. Ange isn't setting out a plan to win a game. Ange's just going to say, my players couldn't do it anymore. They couldn't do this. And that's what I wanted to do. And that's what this stuff he's doing. He's not trying to grind his way out of this. He's not trying to win it. You can't be saying that Pape Sarr shouldn't have played. Especially, you can't say Pape Sarr shouldn't have played when you said that Maddison couldn't play because he's sore.
Oh God, it's just...
Fuck off.
Yeah, it's just getting worse and worse. I mean, I've genuinely genuinely lost.
You've lost
interest.
everything.
I've lost interest completely.
I couldn't even get a conversation out of you about Spurs. You were just like, fuck them. Just
literally done. Like, yeah, exactly. You were like, pod, Thursday, Spurs are on. I was like, fuck them. Don't care. I want to pod anyway.
Oh, I'm in full crisis mode. I want to take over the job myself, mate. I want to be in there. I want to get him. Like, it's
so
mate.
It's mate. So Brentford attackers, good?
No, not good. Go to the Palace game. They were absolutely abysmal.
They
Brentford.
were poor.
They were abysmal. Like in this, it's like we shouldn't pretend that they can abysmal, but you don't have to be any good if you're playing against Tottenham at the moment.
Yeah, and they're also, and again, I know we've done this like good fixture, bad fixture at home and away, but again, they're at home.
They're at home.
They're at home this week, so I think Brentford, good fixture. Good fixture.
Oh, it's a magnificent fixture. It is a magnificent fixture. And it's scary. It's scary going to get up against Bumo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it is scary. I hate it. So, yeah, I can see it. I can see it, the reason why everyone... I mean, a lot of people are using a free transfer to go Gordon to Bumo. I think that's dubious. Ultimately, though, Bumo is just a much better asset than Gordon in FPL. Like, you can see it with this. Like even if you take this, obviously he has a penalty which he then retakes. So he's inches here away from a nil pointer.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get a nil pointer. Because Gaze encroached. What else can you do about it? The only thing about this, and I don't know the rules about this, but Henderson touched that on the way back. And they looked at it quite a lot. They zoomed in on the contact. They zoomed in on it. You look, it brushes Henderson on the way back. And I don't know if that resets shit.
It doesn't, it wouldn't reset Gahey coming in and clearing it. But what it would reset would be
But
Bumo,
because of the post.
But
like, if it hit it
Bumo.
before he hit the post, I get it. But because it hits Henderson on the way back from the post, is that not a clearance from Henderson? Which then
I don't know what you're trying to
cancels all.
No, well, the only thing it would cancel, I think, if my memory serves me right, the only thing it would cancel, it would mean that Bumo could have followed it up and probably should have done.
No, but look, Bumo could have followed it up full stop.
Yeah.
So Bumo could have followed it up.
But he didn't because he thought he'd hit the post. Because then he knows, if he thinks he hits the post and it doesn't hit Henderson, he doesn't see that, then he obviously knows that he can't touch the ball.
Oh, he tried to touch the ball. He just didn't get in quick enough.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to get out of the way of it. Bumo wasn't trying to get out of the way of it.
Yeah, but he wasn't chasing it down to hunt it down to go.
Because he
was still stood on the penalty spot when Gay cleared it.
Yeah, because he goes to the penalty spot at 0.4 miles per hour.
It's true.
He's got no momentum, is it? He stops. He literally stops. He hops and stops.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
We should also just mention Johan Wissa celebrating before, which is one of the best things I've ever seen. It's genuinely incredible. And Keane Potter as well. Keane Lewis Potter did it as well.
Do you know? I wonder how much of it is to try and put the keeper off.
Maybe it might be because it was just brilliant.
Brentford do everything. I don't think that Brentford do anything
without being deliberate.
Without reason. Everything I think of is deliberate. I've because Lewis Potter was doing it too.
Yeah.
I genuinely think it's a tactic to put the keeper off. And if it is,
it was
brilliant.
Genuinely amazing. Genuinely amazing. But I'm gutted because I'm so gutted because there's a chance here. I think it was after about 10 minutes or maybe even it might be that very first chance that
it's a lot less than it thinks it is, but isn't it? Because the chance from Mateta from it. So, but it's again similar to what I say about Szoboszlai. He takes things earlier because he just hammers it.
Oh,
I mean, it's a sledgehammer when he bangs it.
1 foot left, literally 1 foot left, and that was like top bins beauty.
You get that hard, Mateta.
Yeah.
For Mateta was for Mateta and Esse were both fine. I wouldn't say Esse there because it was Esse that scored, obviously, but Esse and Eze, which makes it even much more confusing. But I thought Eze was good. I thought Palace were good, just in general. I thought they were the better team for all of what I watched this.
That was Mateta's only shot.
Yeah, no shots after 8 minutes. A lot of threat, not a lot of shot.
Yeah.
A lot of threat, not a lot of shot. But yeah, look, Brentford home to Tottenham is a golden fixture. And it's not just Brentford home. You're not just getting Brentford home to Tottenham. If it was Brentford is home to Tottenham and then it's a load of crappy fixtures before and after, I'd be like, don't focus on it as much as out there. But it's not. It's Brentford home to Tottenham, and then it's
West Ham, Leicester, Everton.
West Ham, Leicester, Everton. Like we've all got to get on them soon enough. You know, I'm looking and thinking to myself, can I get the team? And this is what I'll probably need to think of as I get towards the end of it. Can I get the team that I think I want to get over the next few weeks without a hit? And if I think I can't, then I might just get Wissa. Because Wissa to Pedro is pretty easy to get. Or I still might just do that Gordon Abumo move. Because it's safe and we'll probably see a price swing, won't we?
Yeah.
I don't even know if we've already had one, but yeah, it's we know the good assets are. Sharda scores, but there's still rumours that Sharda might go out by the end of the transfer window.
Who was looking at him? Was it like Dortmund, was it?
I think Dortmund. Yeah, I think Dortmund looking at him.
Did see that.
What about the spike at the end there?
Does that spike even exist, mate?
That spike no longer exists. I loved it. So at the time, when
you say it no longer exists, it still exists on here.
Yeah, well, won't update, won't refresh, will it? Once the date has been taken, half hour after the game on our ones, it doesn't constantly run in terms of the scrape. So, so the commentator I think the commentator has effectively cost Bumo 2 bonus points here, because the commentator literally screams, as the ball comes across, and because it hits the post and rebounds off, and then Palace went down the other end and had a chance. So they didn't really show it at the time. But I thought to myself, as I was, as you can imagine, nerding on the bonus, is looking at it, I was like, oh, because at the time, Bumo was level with Collins on 2 bonus. And then Collins did a foul. And so I thought, damn it. So I did a little refresh. And then Bumo, I was like, he's gone down 4 points. Hello. They've put that as a big chance missed and hit the post, which is a shot off target.
Yeah.
And then they showed it, and I was like, he didn't touch that. He definitely didn't touch that. And I thought, I'm not tweeting that.
You know, as soon as you do that, Praz, Harry, anyone, they're all over it.
Yeah, luckily Praz and Harry didn't have him. Otherwise, it'd have already, emails would have gone in. It'd have been fine. But I was like, that's definitely going to get looked at. They're going to look at that. We'll see if the corrections happen. So I looked at it, waited for the old
1 hour after the
match.
game.
No, later. Wait for the bonus to be confirmed.
Oh, okay,
Bonus
nice.
came confirmed. Tweet came in. All points added. Then I happened to match of the day 2 on, and they had an even better angle match of the day 2. I thought I'm screen recording that. Screen recorded it. Tweeted it out. Look at this. Look at this with a picture. By the way, can't do shit now, mate. And then sure enough, this morning, when the old Opta corrections happen, it's come off the likes of FootMob, come off the likes of SofaScore. So yeah, fully robbed. Nothing you can do about it. Lost 2 bonus because they didn't see that Mitchell chested it onto the post.
Nice.
Wonderful news.
Nice,
But if that had been Wissa to Bumo at the end, I mean, people would be taking -8s to get Bumo and Wissa in this week. It's still a winning combo in it. Those 2 are so good. I think the interesting bit is if you already own Bumo this week, you almost want to get Wissa even more because you're like, I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, and you can really take advantage of it. And again, like the thing about Brentford as well. I mean, obviously Sharda gets a goal here, but it's only really those 4 that get returns. It's only really
you get the weird ones, don't you? The Norgard, the Jan out, and
whatever.
you're like,
they come out of nowhere. But other than that, it's again much like Palace. It's pretty predictable. Pretty predictable.
He's more central. You know, he didn't do anything in this game, Bumo. He really didn't. But mainly because actually he's spending more time closer to goal.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Right. Where's next? Should we just say this was terrible?
Yeah, I mean, it was just absolutely terrible.
Cool.
It's a good Man United. Look, they got the win, so you take it and you move on with this one. But it just shows to me, seeing what's happening with Man United in terms of the XG that they're creating and what's going on and the general results, seeing what's happening at Tottenham. If your team is not on it, if your team is not dynamic enough in this league at the moment, you just get battered. Whether it's all game, whether it's part of the game, but they were, they've got away with one here. 0.05 open play XG in a game. Now, the beauty of what he's doing to an extent is if you put enough people behind the ball, if you play a back 5 and then you play Ugarte, you're playing a back 6. They're playing a back 6 every game. And they play a striker that plays in defence as well. So it's basically a back 7. You're never going to score a lot of goals. No. Which strangely makes Ahmad an even better pick, doesn't he, at the moment, because of the fact of he does want to return. He is him and Bruno to an extent, but Ahmad for the price, Ahmad is such a good asset because he is so cheap in a team that doesn't want to score goals, and he does. So the likelihood of him being involved always is pretty good. If he scores that late goal, it's a 10-point goal again, isn't it?
Yes.
Because I think it was mid-25s or something like that. Was getting bonus in this game.
Oh yeah, not even that, was it? I think Martinez got a bit more, but it wasn't much.
Because he scored.
Oh, and then you got cleans, I suppose, yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. Even with cleans, it was 25, 26 on the BPS. If he scores in any game, Ahmad, he's getting 10 points. It's good. If you've got Ahmad, I'd keep him. That's my view. Even as stinky as this is, it's a tight offside. I did think it was just offside. It's a weird one so it's a strange one when you've got arms in and about, because what you have to always do is
you've got one out and one down by the side,
and one down.
It's kind of really, but it's really odd.
You've actually got to pretend that other guy's arm stops at the elbow, and then you're like, oh, actually, it does look like it probably is just off. It's just weird.
They just need to bring in the semi-automated stuff and then just go, oh, it's on and off. Easy. That's it. Job done.
It lasts easy. What
I
else we
mean,
got?
we've talked about all the main ones.
Arsenal, Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about this. I mean, I'm a bit disappointed that obviously that Arsenal win the game. View on the red card? Probably not. Probably not. It was a bit. It was a bit. It was kind of in between.
I don't even know it's in between, mate. I just think it's stupid. I know. If what I always think of these ones is because he gives a red, people then find reasons to say why it was a red. Almost like, oh well, he asked for it. He put himself in the position for it. He's endangered him. He's put it is a professional foul. And all those things are true. But fuck me, if that's your own team and that's sending off your team,
It's also never been a red, ever.
it's never been a red. And if it's your team, there's not a fan of any team where if that happened to one of their own, they'd go, you dickhead, Lewis Skelly. He's just like, okay, he's bought it, and oh no, it's not. Yeah, it's just what it is. What I thought was funnier was, did you see when Gomez got sent off?
Oh, you went running.
Did you see Trossard?
I saw this later on.
Trossard came over to Gomez and went, he did that to me. Because he did it, that was at the Man City game, wasn't it? Where he sent him off early in the season. Trossard went, he did that to me. He's a dickhead.
I saw that, but I didn't see the context behind it. I didn't realise. I thought that he might have done it when it was the first yellow when he kicked the ball away or something.
Trossard come over basically to warn Gomez of saying, oh, can't mess with Oliver, mate. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's against Oliver. Rightly so. It's just, yeah. It's one of those red cards where if you're a contrarian, you'll love it because it's a reason you can say, yes, I'm into that. I'm going to go, yeah, I'm going to give you some arguments for it. But realistically, if it's your own team, you're fuming.
And then everything in the game, to be honest, is rather irrelevant, I think. I mean...
Hard, especially once it's 10-10, it's still...
And then it's 10-10, it's open, it's like, oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know what to take much from it. I mean, Arsenal, good defensively, still. I mean, okay, we knew that. There's no new information here, basically.
No. Arsenal get it clean. People that got David Raya, like those things will happen. A 9-pointer is unusual.
Are you playing? So if you've got Raya this week,
yeah, you play him. Yeah, 100% City. Thanks so much. You play him any game. If you've got Raya, you play him any game, really.
So you would have.
And you can't play Fabianski.
No, of course
not.
He
got dropped.
No, of course not. But if you've got Raya, then you've got double Arsenal defence. Would you play double Arsenal defence against City?
Yeah. They're stinky. Arsenal are going to try and stink that game up. You know that's what they're going to try and do. They are going to try and stink the life out of it. And if they do, like you've just seen, like when they had to stink up a game because they had 10 men, they got 16 points between Gabriel and Raya. You're like, they could do that again. Do I think it'll work out? Probably not. I am sick of Raya. I'd like to get rid of him. It's his nose. If I have to say it, anybody who owns him, they know what I'm talking about. It's his nose. Do you know the story of David Raya's nose? I'll tell you the story.
Go for it. I don't know it.
So Jay Rodriguez smashed his nose in like 5 years ago. It's worth seeing old pictures of David Raya when this happened. Was it Blackburn? Was it Blackburn? It was at Blackburn, and like he had like late 90s guys or early 2000s guys would go like Tenerife and they put like those stupid like lines in their hair, like one line like here and stuff, but it's like you're not cool enough to do it. That's the sort of look David Raya went for back in the day. But he had a lovely nose, really nice nose. He got hit by Jay Rodriguez and it completely destroyed it. He had to have complete reconstruction for it. But he definitely did something to his nose in the summer. He definitely had a nose job in the summer. And now it's like really high. And whenever he lets you down, right, you can't help but look at his nose and be like, you can just see too much of his nostrils. All the time. You can really see too much of his nostrils. And you're like, it feels like it's getting, whenever he keeps conceding, I always feel like the nostrils get bigger and bigger and bigger, like it's sinking into his face.
I can't believe. I am looking at pictures now of David Raya from his Blackburn days.
Do you know what I mean now? By
I
looking like
mean,
a
it's
guy
just
that's just
it's
like,
so clear. I mean, it is so clear. Hold on, I'll try and show this. I mean, this is
it is. He just done it, but he gets high. He looks a bit like you probably haven't you
that's
watched Fallout on Prime, but it looks like he's sinking into it, like the guy from Fallout. Like it's weird.
doesn't make any. So
But when
that
he
that
cleans, I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'll let him
that
off.
is so that's the old that's the old David Raya, right? So
Oh, there's Chavia pictures and that, like
I'm
proper,
sure. But this
like
is just the
yeah.
one. This is just the one that I have, and I seem to not be able to actually.
It's not the same this season as last. I didn't used to
Uh,
notice his note. It's higher now, mate. It's
it's
higher.
higher than that. I don't know whether I
It's
can.
higher than that.
Oh, whatever.
Get Googling. Go down a rabbit hole of old images of David Raya people. Just go and have a look. You'll see.
Let's move on.
That's what we got.
from, from one ugly bastard to another. Look at him.
Haaland. He's got some big nostrils too, to be
He
fair
has
to
got
him.
some big nostrils. I mean,
Mamouche.
is this it? Like I think he fits the system really, really well, and I think he's a bit more controlled. Like he didn't have many shots. Like he only had one. I mean, the problem is he got in behind a couple of times and was
Offside, wasn't
close
he?
and offside. Like he's
Yeah.
hungry. Like you can really see that
Well,
he's coming with kind of a
what I love about it, maybe it should give us hope. Ange maybe might change, but he's not Pep, right? He's not Pep. But Pep's been going on and on. He's been going on and on, hasn't he, about the fact of, hey, I've got to try and work it out. I'm letting it down. I'm not working it out. Like, and Pep's always got things to try and work it through. And how do we do certain things? And he's been playing one-on-one, 1v1 specialists out wide almost the season, whether it be Doku, Savinio, Grealish, but Foden's been wide, playing wingers, inverting a right back into centre midfield. And you're like, what does that mean? Well, it means we press up high, actually in transition. Those 1v1 wingers are absolutely useless. We've got a right back out of position. We get overrun coming back the other way. It's bad. Like in transition, we're absolutely stuffed. What can we do about it? Well, Foden suddenly is play well. Do you know what we can do? We get Mamouche. We can actually go in a different way of doing this, in a way of effectively Vardio and Nunes now are the wingers.
yeah.
You don't need to invert the centre midfielder because you just play an extra centre midfielder. Just have a centre. Weirdly, just have a centre midfielder. So you
Well, at the
effectively
same time, they're bringing in these two wide men, as you say. They're no longer 1v1 specialists. They're actually coming inside, which just allows Nunes and Guardiola to get round the outside. That's one
round
thing
it
that I did notice is Marmoush's heat map was ridiculously central.
centre. So actually, what you've got is three central midfielders in the middle, and in front of them, three centre forwards
Yeah,
in the middle. So because there's three centre midfielders occupying that space, the rest of the team that you play against all have to narrow up. Therefore, you can't transition because they're all too narrow. They can't get down the wing because they've all had to come in. And then this space is out there for. So we saw it like the chance where Mateus Nunes gets a 1v1 and it gets saved and the rebound goes to Vardio. I've
hold on.
never seen that.
Yeah. Hold on. I've got it. I've actually got it. Hold on. I've actually got it.
What you got?
I've got that picture. I've had it. Like it is just
Ah,
it's just insane.
but it
Um,
really spells these things because everybody's occupied in this middle six effectively that you've got. In fact, well, it's a middle eight with the centre backs. That actually, that's their way of actually stodging up the middle a bit more. Is that you're just going to use them for wingers? So you're like, well, this is incredible. It's a shame that the fixture run is pretty rank before 30. But if they carry on with this, like Vardio is in all of our teams very soon.
yeah.
Very, very soon. Because you don't want Mateus Nunes because he's actually a midfielder in the game.
Yeah.
Um, but if you can have Vardio at 6 million playing left forward, wherever it is, yeah, it's incredible. And just all those wingers are like, so yeah, I'm not bothered with you. There'll be times, there are times with with them when he comes up against low blocks, that he'll be like, oh, okay, well, I need those 1v1 wingers to keep us pressed in, to cause the problems, to drag people around. They'll use it. But it's incredible. I don't know what he did. I don't know why he played Kusanov. That was just, I mean, as a debut, like, give away a goal,
Yeah,
get booked.
It's tough. It's a tough start, but at the same time, I mean, it was just kind of a naive header. This is the bit that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the right back, left inside.
Inside left, right back is left inside forward. The left back is the left side supporting striker and is further ahead than the actual striker.
It's madness.
It was so insane. I had to take a screenshot of that.
So good,
nuts.
And that caused, obviously, you overload those middles, and it becomes a bit of an issue for Palmer. That's not so good for him as well. So it worked for him. So, hey, we'll keep an eye on it, but I feel like it works in more than one game. You know, we'd started to see Matheus Nunes patrol that right-hand side more and more, which got Foden more and more central. And I think he just thought, we can do that both sides if we want. I don't know what it means for KDB. Really interesting that Marmoush comes straight in and KDB's just see ya. But yeah,
maybe just preparing for just succession planning, essentially.
I think they'll play a very similar team against Arsenal there next weekend. Like you say, it's not good playing double Arsenal, but you just know it's like high risk, high reward. It's more than likely like 2 points between them, maybe 3 with some saves. But if somehow they clean on it, they'll get 16. No, Chelsea for all of it.
Chelsea should have been 2-0 up, shouldn't they?
Yeah,
they should have been clearing away.
Maybe we don't talk all about all how good fun this is and do all that stuff.
That was weird from Palmer as well. That's really it was really unlike him to misplace a pass like that.
Really
very
weird.
Strange.
Yeah.
But West Ham at home this weekend. I mean, you just play.
Yeah.
Palmer's still
you got. Incredible. And people with Jackson, if they haven't already gone to Gakpo, they've gone now. Because still, even at home West Ham, you still do it.
Yeah. Agreed.
So Villa West Ham, is that what we got?
No, we've got Southampton Newcastle as well.
Oh yeah, better do that one.
This is one game I really didn't see any of. I haven't seen any of the goals. I'm just happy that Rodgers only got 1 point.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's weird, isn't it? Because there was like a 7 o'clock game, it was like, it's not really that. Okay, we'll watch this.
Well, the reason I didn't watch this, like this game was straight after Spurs, mate.
Yeah,
I was out the door.
I needed stuff. I couldn't watch. I was like first 10, 15 minutes, and then Ramsey scored, and I thought, okay, I better watch it. In fact, that was about 7 minutes. So I basically didn't watch like 7 minutes of it, and then I couldn't help myself. I thought West Ham were all right. I thought, obviously, Villa had definitely, midweek and on their minds, but I thought in general, West Ham were pretty good. I thought they restricted them to pretty, as it shows, as it says here, 0.8 XG, but from like a dozen chances. It was pretty scrappy. It was pretty low quality, but I did feel like some of the better play I thought came more from West Ham. I don't know what more to take from it.
Game week 27, we can worry about them then.
Watkins, obviously, he gets the assist. He's getting all the goal involvement. Duran will know by the weekend whether he's still there or not, whether there's still links out or not. But yeah, that is what it is. I just see Fast Airs accusing didn't want to stream.
Absolute lies. I'd called.
I was like, before the game, I was like, you need to get out that you can't stream here because otherwise we're gonna get this.
So to be clear, I was out for work at 7:30 this morning. So we made the decision not to stream last night, and we agreed that before the Spurs game because it was inevitable that Spurs were going to be Spurs.
We'd have got more views, wouldn't we, if we'd done it last night, though? That's the part. If anyone thinks we wouldn't, well, we're our most popular when Spurs are crap. No one's listed us speaks 20 minutes about how good we are.
That's true.
Everyone's here for the pylon.
That's also true.
Yeah, we wasted it. Red arrows, and Tottenham losing. They're the secrets to our success.
Absolutely. Let's move on from here. Say Villa. I mean,
Yeah.
the players you got, like, if you've got Rodgers, then fine. You've got a couple of weeks left. If you've got Watkins, I think you'd move him to Gakpo immediately, and then just ride those fixtures. And you probably don't know. Nobody's got any West Ham players, I don't think, and probably not until 27. And then we've got
talk about Newcastle then.
Mr. Unwell Isak.
Who's your defenders for this game week coming up?
Mate, that's a question. I've switched to your team. I don't even know.
I'm assuming you're benching Porro.
Trying to, yeah, if I can.
I think there's going to be people that have got
Porro, Hall, Gabriel, Trent, Castagna are my defenders. So I probably, Hall, Gabriel, Trent.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
If you had to play one of Hall or Gabriel this week, who would you play?
I'd probably play, if I had to play one of them.
Yeah.
I would probably play, I want to say Hall, don't I? Desperate to say Hall.
I think Hall home to Fulham, I'd play him over Gabriel. I think I would. It's probably the first decision on that. Would you sell Hall to Canate, for example? Very similar priced.
Probably not. No. No, I wouldn't. Again, I'd focus on the attack.
Yeah.
Or slot it up. Because I think that's close.
That is close.
Steve says Porro to Mikalenko.
Perfect.
I mean, it might happen. It actually might happen. You never know.
We shouldn't rule out.
I've been looking to free up money because, I can do that and I can get Wissa in for João Pedro, and then next week I'll have money for Brian and Bumo. So, I mean, that is genuine. I've been looking to get Porro out my side for so long. It might actually happen.
Oh God!
It might actually happen. I wish Michael Keane was playing, to be honest.
If it's going to happen, can you promise Steve that Mikalenko will be on the thumbnail for team selection? Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll do Mikalenko and Salah because they're the two most essential people for Thursday night. Perfect.
How likely does it have to be that I'm bringing him in?
That's 70.
That's high, mate. To be fair, it's unlikely he's going to be on the thumbnail at that level.
You'd have made the transfers by then, mate. Surely.
No, I've been pretty good with transfers. Unless I physically rage.
Is Miko due to go up tonight?
Don't say shit like that, mate. I will have to have a look at it. You're going to make me look at it now. Not right now, but you're going to make me look at it. Can we talk about Isak? Not that we have to say much about Isak, but he's great.
The touch. That touch for that second goal. Like, it's just
perfect. It's absolute perfection.
It's just as good as it can be. It's Henry, isn't it? It's Henry regen. Like, you watch it and you're like, it's Thierry Henry. Yeah, I hate saying it continuously because you know how perfect he would be if he was at Arsenal, but it's so rare that you have a centre forward that you can play a centre forward that has such a good enough all-round game that they can do it without having, like, say for example, like wingers that are forwards that can, it's not like he's got a Dango outside him or something like that that's going to come off their wing. Is a lot of teams would really struggle if they had a guy that didn't be just Mr. Target Man and they didn't have replacements for it. But his all-round game is so good. His touch is so good. The way he turns on players, the way he sprays the ball around. But that touch, it's the closest player to Thierry Henry in that type of mold that I can think of.
I think he's got the arrogance as well to be I always think of, and I mean, this is probably being a Spurs fan, but I always think of Arsenal just as like pure arrogance.
Yeah.
There's always an arrogance about the way that they play football. It doesn't matter who you look at, whether it's whether it's whether it's looking at Gabriel when he scores, or whether it's looking at Martinelli, or you know what I mean. Even the Guendouzi out the car window type shit, that all that sort of stuff. And so Isak has that arrogance.
Everything
as well.
about him. If I was an Arsenal fan, everything about him would be like, I can't believe we haven't got him in our team. I can't believe we haven't got him in our team.
They were after him like 3 years ago.
You'll pay a lot of money now. Like, I don't
mean,
understand.
I almost feel as bad for them as I feel for us not getting Chris Wood, honestly.
150 million, I think, that kind of money. Like, he's that good. And one of the reasons why he's that good is that he's not as brittle as he was as well, isn't he? Is the big issue with him was that he would just fall apart all the time. He's carrying this team with very little opportunity to rest.
But it doesn't feel like he's. I know he picks up the ball in deep positions and makes a lot of runs, but I never watch the game and I think Isak's put in a shit ton of effort in here. I feel like he's just cruised through the game, and he's just cruised through looking like the best player on the park by a mile.
Yeah, it's like his feet don't touch the ground.
That's it. He's just hovering. He's just hovering around and just doing good stuff. Man, he's a good player.
He's so good. He's so good.
Cool. Target Southampton as well. That's always good.
I know the fixtures. They're definitely obviously getting tougher for Newcastle, but they are a good team. I think they'll still cause Fulham a lot of problems at home. I think they'll cause any team a lot of problems. We've just seen Bournemouth smash 5 past Forest. I think people have looked at it and thought, Forest in 26 is suddenly a bad fixture for them. They've got that like it's a horrendous run of Man City, Forest, Liverpool, but home to Forest, I think, and home to Fulham, I actually think they're fine. Like any team at home with them at the moment, and then you come out the back of it, you're going to want him back. So bear in mind as well, whatever you sell him for, you're going to have to pay a lot of money to get him back, because there's no chance on earth in 30, when they're home to Brentford, away to Leicester, home to Man United, that you are not going to have Isak in your team back in 30.
Yeah, agreed. But I think you can. I mean, you can let Gordon go for that period though, but I think you have to have Isak.
100%. Isak just stays. Don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Too good. But Gordon can go. Yeah, because he's got limited ways to the points. He's the after show really with this one, and the other guys contribute, don't they? It's not like Bruno, Joelinton, and Tonali don't contribute.
And Jacob Murphy.
And Jacob Murphy's 5 million. There's really not that huge amount of difference between the two of them.
It's true.
He's solid, Gordon. But realistically, the 20-pointers are not there. Boomo, 20-pointers are there.
I agree. That is all the games. Giveaway, and then AssMan?
Have we been cruel to Southampton there?
Why? No, I don't think so. Like, look, I mean, as bad as Spurs are, I don't mess around with this stuff. Like, as bad as Spurs are, like Southampton. So Tottenham have picked up 4 points in their last 10 games. Southampton have picked up 1. So as much as we talk about how bad Spurs are, which we are, Southampton are still worse than Spurs by every metric possible.
That's the metric. That's the barometer we should do for all teams.
Target Southampton, target Spurs. Yeah. Giveaway. Everyone loves a giveaway. So for anybody that's listening on podcasts, this is going to sound really boring as always, but for people that are watching right now, 380 of you, thank you. There is a tweet on X. Go and retweet that. I'll give you another minute, maybe 30 seconds. And then we will draw a winner. For the guys on Blue Sky, when you retweet that, I'll do the draw later. It's not going to be so many bells and whistles, but I'll still do it. But there isn't a picker. I can't pick anything out. So I will. Okay. I've got the tweet up here. Hold on. I know we're just looking at me and you at the moment, but bear with me 1 second, and we will get it up on screen. I just need to make sure that I'm copying the link. And then hopefully when I switch to this screen, it should be there. Beautiful.
Lala asks while we're doing it.
Sure.
Now he's become a Patreon member. How do I enter my team to try to be me? Do the Discord. What did you say to me about when people join Patreon about the best way to get into the
So
Discord?
yeah, the only way to join, the only way actually to get into the Discord is to get onto Patreon on a website, and if you do it on if you do it on mobile or on the app, it doesn't actually link your Discord to Patreon, so it doesn't actually
Yeah.
let you give you an invite to come in. Whereas if you go onto the desktop and actually do that, then you can get in. That's the way. That's the way to do it. And I think I left that little message. If you join Patreon, you should get a message from us that does say that as well. So yeah, that's the way to do it. And there'll be a league code in there. Obviously, I'm not reading out the league code here. So there is a question in there. So Fast Air says you guys should make above average FPL golf balls. Well, we've already done that.
We've got some.
We've got some. I've lost a couple, but we've got some.
I've still got some spare.
Yeah, we can give them away if you want. I don't mind. Could do. Anytime. But yeah, so that's it. Last chances. One winner for a mug on the pod today. You have to retweet it. That's right. And or quote, actually. I don't know whether you can do both.
Oh.
Retweet and quote. Or quote. Oh my God. How difficult is this? I can't do it. So if you've quoted it, then that's bad. Oh,
you said retweet.
I said retweet. Searching for a winner. Hopefully it's not someone that's already got one.
Gwyn!
There we go.
He's been asking for a mug.
He has been asking for a mug. I'm so happy about that.
He's always at the gym.
Constantly.
I get really annoyed about it. Always messages. Been in the gym, now listen to this. And I'm like, thanks, John. But how is the bloody gym? Like, how does people have time for this?
I know what you mean. But no, Gwyn gives us a shout out, to be fair. I mean, he gives us a shout out every single time he listens to the pod. So, no one is more deserving, I think, in the last month. I actually don't think anyone is more deserving. So, shout out to you, Gwyn. I will send you a message. Well, I'll tell you what. No, I'm going to let you listen to this, and then you're going to send me a message, because I know you'll be claiming that mug as soon as you hear it.
Yeah, let's wait for him.
Absolutely.
Let's wait for him.
So we'll just wait for it. And that's it. And
what if he does it when he's at? What if he does it? What if he doesn't now know and he listens to it whilst he's at the gym, and he's like full on the treadmill, and it happens, and he has an accident?
You can't put that on me.
Maybe he will. Like he often says, he's doing. He's listening to us when he's at the gym.
Do I have to read out like a terms and conditions, no liability, da 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 da?
I want to know the story.
Don't operate heavy machinery.
Give us the story, Gwen, of what happened. Where were you?
Cool, right. So we got a couple of things to look at on AssMan. I think there's a lot of people that have done a lot of really good stuff on it already. There was a couple of things. I think we basically picked an image each that we liked.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair. So Rob T did a really cool thread on it, looking at all sorts of different outcomes over the last 8 seasons. And what he found was the two positives, the two with the highest positive basically was if you had a competitive table bonus, i.e. you were table bonus eligible and you had more than a 30% chance of winning the game.
Win odds.
In terms of the betting markets, then the mean score in that particular fixture was 10.4. And it distributes, you can see how it distributes like this weird graphic. There's quite a lot down the bottom. There's a bit in the middle, around 10 points, and there's a bit at the top around 20. So the upside is really quite high, actually.
And the downside is also crappy.
Pretty crap. Yeah, the downside
because there is a danger, isn't there? Obviously, and this is everyone's hearing about how powerful this chip is, and people are going to see potentially how powerful this chip is, and there is a danger. I almost think as the season goes on, and especially as the season goes on, of like what are people playing for and where are they sitting, of like how dangerous do you go with some of these. But if you get naught from it, or if you get like less than 5 points from this chip, holy shit, that could be absolutely disastrous. And if you get 25, you've annihilated it. like that's the point, I guess, on this graphic on the left here, isn't it? Is that it shows if you go big, it
Yeah.
basically because obviously what it is where the points are so big, there's no in the middles, is there? It's either you get absolutely nothing, you get one good result, and you're fine. It's good.
Well, this is just
You
an
get
individual fixture. So what you're seeing
yeah,
here is just an individual fixture. So as soon as a team wins,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
at
yeah,
16 and above. So you're in that top bubble.
yeah,
So that's why the top bubble is quite big. But if you don't win because you're 5 or more places below the team you're playing in the table, then you get nothing out of it. You might get one because you might score a goal, but you're
yeah,
not getting very much. I mean, obviously the tens of what you're seeing in the bubbles are each of the results. Essentially, you're seeing a win, you're seeing a draw, and you're
yeah,
seeing a defeat. And
yeah,
you're seeing what comes with it. Whereas what you're seeing with the strong favourites on the right hand side, which is more like a top heavy bubble, more consistent, a lot smaller sort of downside on it, is that you're seeing some draws and you're seeing some goals in there, and then you're seeing a win, and then the big ones like the wins with the clean sheets, like the 4-0s and stuff like that at the top.
it's big, isn't it?
Because a 4-0 with a
And this
win
is a
and a clean
singular
sheet is
fixture.
12
If you end up
points.
with a double with it, isn't it? Like fucking hell. Like it could easily be. Well, I think they've shown someone was like 50 points and stuff like that. You can get in this, can't you?
In a given week, I think the biggest one was last season was Palace had in the game week 34 41 points for a particular week. In a week.
In a week.
In a
You
week.
got 3 weeks of it.
Yeah. And then you get 2 more fixtures on top of that. I did have a quick look through, and there were out of all of the top ones, you couldn't combine any of them. There was
No.
actually they were so far because it was like 8 seasons worth of data. You couldn't combine any of the
Yeah.
top ones because they were such outliers. I guarantee someone will hit 2 though. There'll be someone out there that hits a 35 pointer and then hits another 35 pointer because they've made a transfer and they just go back to back and their chip is like 85 points or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be mental.
Do you think if you did Moyes on this,
Yeah.
you've got, because effectively on Moyes, you've got neither of these really, have you? You've got one, they're not going to be 70% win odds, but they'll be somewhere, they're like a mini version of both. Like in this one is they're
They won't be involved in either of these, particularly in this double. Because if you they will be, they don't get a table bonus from Leicester as well, right?
But they'll be strong favourites, albeit not strong favourites. They'll be like 50%, 60%.
It'd be
maybe.
55, 55,
Yeah.
60, yeah, something like that.
So they'll probably be like an estimated like 7 points, probably potentially from the Leicester one, and then very little estimate from that one. So I think if you're doing Moyes, you need to have a plan to come off, don't you? Which means you need to have the transfers to come off.
Yeah.
And the transfers you could spend coming off it potentially then stops you from getting some really bloody good fixtures. So your team needs to be really well set up. I think the whole point is when you suddenly see somebody else go, I'm going Moyes this week, it doesn't mean you should go Moyes this week because what they've got isn't necessarily what you've got. Your plan isn't what they've got, and that you don't know if they've already got Bumo for you know, if someone's already got Bumo and they're saying, oh, I'm going to go Moyes this week, you're like, oh, okay. And then you look at their team and actually they've got Bumo and Cliver. I'm like, oh, I kind of get it a little bit now because you're not going to use a transfer on something else in 25. So you might just go, I'm going to chance this double, get my Leicester game. If the Liverpool game pays off, it's like the grandiose prize you've ever had, which is still, you can't deny it, as unlikely it is, it's the last Merseyside derby at Goodison.
Yeah.
Like, if it pays unbelievably. And then you'd be like, well, see you later. I'm not staying on this for Palace and Man United. I'm gonna go off and I've got some good slam dunks, you know, if you want to go to. Or you can do, for example, Fulham in 25. And you might get lucky that Fulham get a double if that falls in with
Forest,
Tottenham.
and they get Forest with a table bonus.
But they've got Forest with a table
And then
bonus at
Spurs.
home. And then they've got Spurs in it. If they got that in a double, you're like, it's now gold. So there is something where you were like, well, I actually could do that. And then you could stay on Fulham for home Palace, or you could bugger off again and look for something else to play with. There's options. I mean, Southampton at home to Brighton at the moment. I'm like, with a bonus at home, it's not stupid. It's not as stupid as as people would have thought it would have been
Yeah.
a little while back. I think you can do it this week, but I think you've got to look at it and say, have I got the transfers that mean that I could take the gamble and then get off and try and hit it again? And how well are my other stuff set up if I have to start placing my transfers on this?
Do you want to have a look at the graphic that you wanted to look at and then change your position? Because
well, it's just alternatives, isn't it? But this is the point about this. Point about any of these graphics that we're looking at. So there's loads of graphics which show one team, and I think this will reinforce the point of saying, if I was to go across this 3 week window, this is what I think the average points are. So this was an account I saw which did a good table, fantasy sock data, and it effectively says Everton in 24. Yeah, it's not. Rolling 3 week window is 16 points. Can't stay on it.
yeah,
You can't stay on. Obviously, the variance is completely beaten out of sight if they beat Liverpool. That's the punt you're taking. You're taking the punt that they get a result against Leicester, get some points in the bag, and have a free punt, and then get off. But you do need to get off him if you're going to go on, boys.
I mean, I also think this graph in this graphic in particular just it actually empowers like the transfer of a manager as well more than anything. It doesn't. I don't feel like I'd want to stay on any manager when my expected ceiling is 28 points. Like that feels given what we know about the chip and given that we know that you can get 16 points in a week plus more. I don't see the value in sticking with a manager at all.
Not for all 3 weeks.
No.
Even if you had slot, you'd be off in 26, wouldn't you? You'd be like, well, I'm doing it 24, 25, and I'm out. And so that is the point on this one. You need to either have the transfers in the bank, which mean that you can still be making transfers whilst AssMan's going on, or you need the team so well set up that you don't need to make transfers for the next few weeks, and therefore you can AssMan and just use transfers and AssMan. But you also need out the back of it to understand that if you've used all your transfers up and then you go into 27 and you've got none, and then the fixtures are falling in a way that because you're not gonna still know the 29 fixtures when you've started playing your AssMan. And if it turns out, is obviously Newcastle and Palace, you can sort of take a bet on that one. But if it turned out, for example, that Liverpool blank in 29 and Newcastle blank in 29 and Palace blank in 29, and you can't do all those other transfers to do the stuff, then you're definitely free hitting. So you've just almost been like, well, I'm definitely doing that, definitely doing that, definitely doing that. And then you'll be scrambling against everybody. And especially if you've already used your wild card as well, then you'll be like last 7-8 weeks, you'll be fighting uphill the whole way. So I think it's just about keeping your eyes open and do it. Let alone the fact, don't press it until you know 1,000,000% who you're doing it on.
I saw that.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, I saw that. So
I don't think they're going to do anything about this.
No, as soon as you activate it, you select a manager.
Yes.
And that man, if you want to move off that manager in the same game week, then you need to spend the transfer to do it, which is mental. But it's kind of written in there, but it's really, really shady.
Yeah, it's written and you can interpret it once you know it, but you probably wouldn't. Nobody beforehand was like, oh, that's what that is.
I think everyone just assumed you activate the chip and then you went, oh, I'll put it on slot. No, I don't like that. I'll put it on Maresca. Oh no, I'll tell you what, I want Moyes. And then when you come to the end of the game week, then you're locked. But that's not the case.
It's not the case.
It is like making a transfer at that moment.
Yeah.
You go, I've got
So
no one. I'm bringing him in
with
if I need to move
there's
him.
going to be, there'll be, I reckon there'll be over 100,000 transfers by come Saturday on managers.
What is it looking like at the moment? There's hardly any, is there?
5,000 there was about 1 o'clock. I checked it
Yeah,
on Monday.
on Monday. It's early.
That's early. That's early. So that's the beauty of it is we're all going to gain transfers against the crowd.
Why can't I? This is stupid.
So you have to go to,
you know where it says view and you've got all players. Why can't I pick all managers?
yeah, you can. Oh, you can on the app. I know you can.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, you can just when I go to like player statistics is what I go to. So go to statistics where it says all players. I think it's right at the bottom if you haven't seen it.
No, I've not got it. I'm looking. Oh no, hold on. No, it is there by position. Okay, it's by position. Okay, fine.
Yeah, managers.
Yeah.
And then if you do the interesting part, I saw some people trying to predict ownership of them. Well,
The ownership is only going to be of the ownership is going to be of the people that have the chip active.
the chip active is going to be so 45% of the people that have made it active, but we don't know how many people have activated it because we only know how many people have transferred them out or transferred in. But because you select, you don't know how many selected. Does that make sense? So transfers in and transfer out doesn't equal the total number of people that have activated the chip.
Well, yeah, because people are moving transfers between the two as well.
No, when you first select, you're not making a transfer in or transfer out.
Oh, God, yes.
Do you see what I mean? When you select, it won't go into the transfers in column or go to the transfers out column. So I think I saw someone say, oh, like if you divide the transfers in by this amount, it'll give you won't because you technically have not made a transfer with that first one. It's so confusing. But yeah, transfers out is getting higher and higher. Yeah, it's more now. I said 5,000. It was 5,000 earlier. It's more like 6, 7 already. But that'll just keep going up. Come Friday, it'll ramp.
Yeah.
People change their mind. They're like, oh no, I've got to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because we never know how many like triple captains are being played until after the week started.
Sometimes the official account tweets it though, don't they? They like to tell you, and I wouldn't be surprised if we hear that.
Oh, like 100,000 managers have played it so far.
Yeah.
200,000. Are you going to play it? No.
I think we're here.
Cool.
It'll be fun. How long do you think the game? Do you think they're set up, or how long do you think the game will take to reset itself when deadline goes?
Oh God. I think it'll be a full hour.
Yeah, I do.
It'll be a full hour. I'm assuming it's not going to crash. I don't think there's any
Forest
reason
Brighton, the early
crash.
game on Saturday as well. It's useless.
Yeah, true. True, but here we are. 10 teams done. That's quite good for
10
us.
10 teams done.
With the AssMan discussion.
With the AssMan.
With a giveaway. Hour and 45. Seems pretty good. Thank you to everyone that's been in the chat. Good. 350 people. A few people have dropped off. Must be like you, early bedtime and that.
Yeah.
Reasonable.
Big Pete, FPL team, has updated Becca to show as Allison just for you.
Beautiful. I love it. I love the site even more. The site even more. In fact, hold on a sec. Actually, hold on. I'm actually in the site and I haven't refreshed. So if I refresh...
Is it going to change Becca to Allison?
I'm going to test this live.
Oh, hello.
See if we can test this live. You see Allison? It's too small, isn't it?
No.
Oh, it's too small. I'll tell you what, I'll just tell you. Oh, it has. That's amazing. I love it. Thanks, Pete.
What boy. Cheers, everyone.
Shout out to everyone that's been in. Well done to
Cover the games. Mark. We'll come back.
Like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'll do a giveaway on Blue Sky very shortly before I go to bed.
I want people to reply to your tweet tomorrow with just various pictures of David Raya. Just Get your favourite. Go for your Google images. Get your favourite picture of David Raya and just reply it to the tweet tomorrow.
No one's going to know what the hell's going on. Yeah, so if you've got this far, reply to the tweet for the podcast with a picture of David Raya. Don't care where he is.
We'll just keep retweeting him. We'll just keep retweeting him.
We'll retweet him. We'll just ruin everyone's day tomorrow, over and over and over. Yeah, perfect. I will retweet every single one. You retweet every single one. We'll just ruin it. Just ruin the timeline.
You know those tweets where they're like, for every few likes, I'll make him fatter, or any of those type of stuff. We should do it like with his nostrils. just get bigger and bigger nostrils.
Well, you're gonna end up with like the earth sticking out,
that
sort of thing. Oh my god, how did we end up with nostrils, chat?
That's what we do.
Jesus.
Later.
I love doing podcasts. It's always fun, man. It's always fun. It's always a pleasure. And in the last 30 seconds, we've gained like 40 people, which is good. Shout out to you.
They'll be like, what on earth? I will timestamp it. So if you come out of this and come back in a bit, you'll be able to understand what we're on about.
I'm just going to say nostrils, isn't it?
Nostrils.
Right, guys. Hope you had a good game week 23. As always, like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And we'll see you on Thursday, maybe while Tottenham are playing. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll see.
We'll work it out.
Catch you later, mate.
Bye.